It was a dark and stormy night, the kind of night where even the bravest of souls feared to tread. But for Isabel, it was just another night on the job. She was a private investigator, and she had been hired to investigate a string of strange disappearances in the small town of Ravenswood. Isabel arrived in Ravenswood in the late afternoon and checked into a rundown motel on the outskirts of town. She had done her research, and she knew that the disappearances had all occurred in the same area, a dense forest on the outskirts of town known as the Blackwood. Isabel spent the evening going over her notes and preparing for her investigation. She knew that she was in for a difficult night, but she was determined to get to the bottom of the disappearances. As she set out into the forest, Isabel could feel the weight of the darkness pressing down on her. The trees loomed tall and menacing, and the only sound was the howling of the wind. Isabel knew that she was not alone in the forest, and she kept her hand on her gun as she made her way deeper into the woods. As she walked, Isabel began to notice strange symbols etched into the trees. They were ancient and mysterious, and she couldn't quite make sense of them. But she knew that they were important, and she made a mental note to investigate them further. Isabel soon found herself in a clearing, and she immediately knew that she had found the source of the disappearances. In the center of the clearing stood a large stone circle, and Isabel could feel the power emanating from it. As she approached the circle, Isabel felt a strange pull, as if she was being drawn towards it. She fought against the pull, knowing that it was dangerous, but she couldn't resist. She stepped into the circle, and immediately she was transported to a different place. Isabel found herself standing in a vast underground chamber. The walls were made of ancient stone, and the only light came from a strange glowing crystal in the center of the chamber. Isabel could see that the chamber was filled with strange artifacts, and she knew that she had stumbled upon an ancient civilization. As she explored the chamber, Isabel discovered that the civilization was still alive. They were a race of beings known as the Elders, and they had been living in the chamber for thousands of years. They had been the ones behind the disappearances, and they had been using the people of Ravenswood for their own ends. The Elders explained that they were a dying race, and they needed human sacrifices to keep their civilization alive. They had been taking people from Ravenswood for centuries, and they had no intention of stopping. Isabel knew that she had to stop the Elders, but she was outnumbered and outmatched. She knew that she would need help, and she set out to gather a team of allies. She enlisted the help of a local historian, who had been studying the disappearances for years. Together, they dug deeper into the history of the Elders and discovered that they were not the only ones who knew of their existence. They also found a group of descendants from the people who had been taken by the Elders, who were willing to help Isabel put an end to the Elders' actions. With her team assembled, Isabel set out to infiltrate the Elders' underground kingdom. They had to face many challenges, including traps, puzzles, and fierce battles, but they managed to reach the inner sanctum of the Elders. In the final confrontation,